Thanks for joining us today. Mm, my name is Dewey. Our group members include Yawen Nuo, Nan Yao, Xiangchen Liu, Bao Youfu, Yi Zhang. Today we're gonna talk about the strategies that multinational companies use to deal with global business challenges. And in this video for about 20 minutes, I'm gonna talk about what industry we choose and the key future. So let's get started. Okay. In this picture, we can see that next global market share is 2.8%. H&M 1.4%, the other 1%. The garment industry is an important economic source in both the developed and developing countries. So let's look at the next bar chart. This bar chart from 2012 to 2019. The clothes industry was growing rapidly, but in 2019, the clothes industry was affected by the COVID and economic suddenly dropped. Growth will continue after 2020. So I find the 5 key future of the clothes industry. One, the garment industry is very dynamic. Two, the industry is growing rapid every year. Three, the garment industry is labor intensive, and so it needs a lot of labor. Four, most the big name is the clothing industry are private companies. Five, the garment industry affected by the macro environment and has changed. Sixth, the cloth industry will change the result based on style and type. I'm finishing my presentation. So next, Luo Yawen and Lan Yao will talk about multinational company facing challenge. Thank you.
Well, as we mentioned, the clothing multinational corporations face many different challenges. Now we are going to talk about some of them. Next page, please. First of all, as everyone knows, garment industry is a labor-intensive industry in recent years because of COVID-19. A large number of employees were unable to return to work, and the factory had to stop production, including garment industry. Next page, please. A lot of orders were piled up. As for clothing physical store, in some areas, a 100% drop in turnover was caused by government closing physical stores to avoid a concentration of foot traffic. According to a McKinsey report, a 13 to 14% drop in sales at European clothing physical stores. In the most affected areas, turnover had fallen by as much as 18%. Another significant challenge is the garment industry is rapidly changing, especially some fast fashion companies like H&M, Zara, and so on. The competition in the garment industry is becoming more and more fierce because these designs are changed so quickly and so cheap. Many teenagers choose these brands a large number of traditional clothing multinational corporations have been affected. Besides, stealing designs is also common. Some designers say original design is getting harder and harder. The third point is the influence of environmental protection policy on government industry. In recent years, many countries are paying high attention to environmental issues. According to statistics, people consume more than 62 million tons of clothing every year, which makes the environmental pollution behind the garment industry the sixth highest in the world. For example, cotton, as one of the most water-intensive and chemically dependent crops, it consumes 3% of the world's fresh water and 35% of pesticides. In the fast fashion era, people quickly discard their clothes, and discarded clothes are usually burned or buried, which also causes serious environmental pollution. Now it's handed to Danielle. She will share her points about challenges too.
Hello everyone, my name is Lan Yao. Next, I will continue to analyze the challenge faced by multinational corporations. They're about politics and cultural difference. The emergence of globalization has caused major changes in the global business environment, bringing opportunity, rise, and challenge to multinational companies. The relationship between countries and multinational corporations is complex, contradictory, accidental, and changeable. They interact with each other, and economic development provides a material basis and practical guarantee for political stability. And political unity and solidarity provide good conditions and foundation for economic development. Political decision will have an important impact on business activities, from which we can see the plot of comparison and competition. Politics serve business, and business serve to set off politics in a sense. Looking at the economy through politics, political decision can affect the prosperity or decline of this business. How to influence, such as promulgating some regulations and so on. This can affect the rise and fall of multinational companies. Next page, please. Different local tastes and professions in different countries mean that removing formal chain barrier will not standardize marketing strategies between different countries. The degree of standardization seems to depend on the type of product. Many industrial products, consumer durable, such as camera, ovens, watches, and radio, and clothing such as Gucci shoes and Levi's jeans, standardized have been well advanced. However, fast-moving consumer goods are difficult to achieve product standardization due to different local tastes. Even pan-European brands, such as Gilmer under the L'Oreal Group, have adjusted the promotion of their hair dye product in different countries. The next part is for my team members.
Next page, please. Okay, Liu Xiangchen and me arranged this part strategy, identified the strategy adopted by multinational corporations to manage these challenges. We have AI solution, marketing expenditure, and environmental protection policy, political decision, and the last one, cultural differences. Next page, thank you. Labor-intensive industry refers to industry that a certain amount of labor is needed to produce goods or services, such as agriculture, coal mining, and the government industry. Short of manpower caused by fever or other illness has an impact on the production line. It could go worse if there's a pandemic, which has similar impact with the Black Death. COVID-19 is known as coronavirus pandemic that outbreak in Wuhan, and the original case is unknown. The symptoms of COVID-19 are quite comparable, common cough or fever, with mild to severe type, which will kill the host in the end. Following this situation, many industries are affected. The government industry is one of them. To manage these challenges, they bring AI solution. So they have AI for early warning and mobile phone technology for safety, and the last one, wearable devices, such as wristband. Next page, thank you. Then the apparel industry is called the fashion industry. Then the fashion is defined with another meaning, trading. For the government industry or brands, leading the new fashion is one of marketing purpose. So competition in the marketing becomes essential. For example, they need to spend much to keep a good location or place in shopping mall. And brands fee goes higher, and other marketing promotion such as superstar to take advertisement. Now we can see that from the cost goes higher for each year, and even in 2020, this is another evidence that COVID-19 has an impact. Next page. They also launched new items such as mahjong from Hermes. Next page. And Versace salt and paper shake. And my teammate Liu Xiangzhen will going to deliver another part. Thank you.
Thanks for you. Now I'm going to continue to talk about that. The third challenge is environmental pollution caused by the garment industry. So how can the garment industry reduce its impact on the environment and transform into sustainable fashion? First is design. Clothing companies should abandon the fast-moving concept of catering to the market and introduce the concept of circular economy into clothing design. Clothing companies can also give priority to recyclability in the raw materials, material selection, and functionality of clothing. The second point is the production. Clothing companies should ensure no toxic and pollution-free materials in the production of clothing raw materials. Replace materials that are difficult to degrade. Clothing companies should also use renewable energy in the production process to minimize environmental pollution and waste generation. The third point is use. Clothing industry can set up borrowing, leasing, and other services that can recycle clothes so as to avoid one-time circulation of clothes and let more people experience more different clothes at a low cost. The last point is recycling. Consumer can put the clothes they don't want to wear but don't want to throw away into the clothing store, and they collect the clothes and send them to the environmental protection recycling factory. The clothes will be degraded or recycled and made into recycled materials. Next page, please. The fourth challenge is political. Political decisions are made to protect local companies. The state cancels all kinds of preferential policies for foreigner-funded enterprises when reducing tax for local enterprises and other measures. Of course, clothing companies can't not only rely on national policies but also enhance competitiveness, improve quality, and create a good competitive environment. Now let's welcome Ether to talk about the last stage.
Okay, thank you. As a multinational clothing company, it must continuously improve its brand culture, comprehensive quality while exploring the market. On the other hand, from the design and upgrade of the brand, the product design and the quality of clothing, and the communication and marketing methods of the brand. Looking for separate from experience between the local culture and the psychology and preferences of consumer groups, so that local consumers can recognize the company's brand culture to improve their brand awareness. Companies, next page. Companies must integrate into the local cultural environment from aspects to make corporate designs more suitable for local cultural traditions and ecosystem. In terms of products, pay attention to combination of different styles, integrate local cultural elements into product design, cater to needs of consumers and gain the favor of consumers. At the same time, it can make full use of the local market for production and release the localization of production and human resource. After localization, its production and operating costs will be much lower than the costs of multinational business model. These measures can better help enterprise to open up new markets and gain more consumer support. The products produced by enterprise can better meet the needs of local consumers, and they are also conducive to cost saving in multinational operations and oversight assessment. Through this strategy, mutually beneficial and win-win situation can be achieved. On the one hand, the environment can be effectively protected, which is conducive to shaping a positive corporate image. Secondly, it will also provide many jobs, which can not only reduce labor costs, but also promote the economic development of the host country, reduce local society's resistance to the company, and enter the virtuous circle. These are all the percentages of our group. Thank you.